Hey guys, it's Trey here, and today I'm here to talk to you guys about getting your first job in software development. In my experience, I haven't actually worked for any of the top companies like Google, Facebook, any of them. I basically just worked for regular companies, big corporations like Macy's. I also worked for NCR, Blue Cross Blue Shield, Hibbett Sports, just big companies. My main language is Java, so I believe that's why pretty much I'm in those fields because most enterprise companies usually use Java. In my experience, the coding part of the interview really isn't weighed as heavily as I think it is in Google or Facebook or any of those companies. So for me, I'm going to talk to you about the other side of the interview, basically like the human interaction and how you should go about the interview, not necessarily the coding portion. There's plenty of videos out there where people are talking about the coding and how to, do the algorithms and all that good stuff. So I'm not gonna talk about that. I'm coming in here to talk about the human interaction part. So when you're going into an interview, most people go in and think that, hey, I can go in here and just, let my coding do the talking and just be quiet or you got to go in and you're interviewing the company just as much as they're interviewing you. So when you go in there, you need to talk to them like, hey, is this a good fit for me? So when I go into an interview, I'm not even really worried about the coding. I go in trying to figure out more about the company, what I'm going to be doing, and all that stuff. So basically, when you come in, you got to come in confident. You got to come in, make people like you. Like when you come in and you're talking to the person, don't come in and be, not inviting. Like don't come in and just say hey and then step to the side and wait for them to tell you to code something. Like talk to them, have a full you'll be surprised that because there have been interviews where I haven't done so well on the coding portion, but the fact that I was, having a great conversation with the interviewer, they're like, hey, I actually like this person. I see he knows what he's doing. He may have had, not so did so well on the actual coding part, but I see that he knows how to communicate and he knows the basics, of of programming. So when you go in, just explain everything that you're doing when you are doing the coding portion, but really just try to have a good conversation with the interviewer. So you come in and say, hey, how you doing? Be a human. Talk to them. Ask them about why they're like. A lot of times, people don't ask questions when they say, hey, do you have any questions that you want to ask? The main question I love to ask is just a quick one you can just throw out there if you can't think of anything else is, hey, why did you, well, most of the time, the person that's doing the interview is a hiring manager or whatever. Sometimes they're not, but, they're in some form of management or something most of the time, in my case, my experience. So I usually ask them, hey, what made you get into management? And then they'll go on and talk about it and, that'll eat up most of the interview. A lot of times, there was one time I had an interview, and I was supposed to have two interviews. So the first interview I did was with one person, and I did well on that interview. And I talked to him same way. We had a good conversation. He asked me a couple of questions. I answered the questions, and that was really it. It wasn't even really that much coding. And then I was supposed to go through a second interview with three people that had coding in it, and I didn't have to do that because I did so well on the first one. So all I'm saying is go in there, be a human, make sure that you're friendly, and just talk to the person and have a great conversation, because a lot of the times you'll be doing a lot more talking, or they may even do more talking than you, and you won't even really have to do much coding. I mean, and I'm talking about smaller companies here, not really big ones. Thanks for watching the video. Like and subscribe and all that jazz.